Hello and welcome back to Art Class Demos. Today we're going to learn about pencil grips and drawing movements. In pencil grips, you're going to learn how to hold a pencil differently than you do when you write. And when drawing movements, we're going to talk about drawing with our shoulder more than with our wrist.
All right, first thing I'm going to talk about today is pencil grips. Pencil grips are in drawing don't have to be the same way we grip a pencil when we write. When you learned how to write or draw or color when you were a little kid, somewhere along the line, somebody taught you to hold the pencil like this, or some people draw. There's all kinds of different ways people hold pencils. I've seen some crazy things. Whatever. When you're writing, it's not a big deal as long as you can write legibly. But when you're drawing, you don't have to draw the same way. Oftentimes we do when you're getting real detailed, but most of the time when we're drawing, you want to stay loose and light. And if you're holding the pencil like this, you're going to push really hard. We've all experienced that thing that happens when you push really hard and you dent the paper, and then all the papers below your paper are dented, and then when you try to erase, you'll never be able to get it up. For example, if I draw some lines like this and I want to erase them, if I use my kneaded eraser that I showed you in the last video, I can't really get those all up, even if I use this. There's always going to be a little remnant because I've dented the paper. I've actually carved a groove into it. But if I use my pencil on the side of it more, I can make a variety of marks. I can still make that thin mark if I want to. I can make some nice, very easily I can shade things in. I can fade them out. I can bring them back in and get darker, push a little harder. I can change that. I can do like a little thick to thin line real easy just by changing the variety of the motion of my pencil or the angle of my pencil. And if I want to erase, like with the exception of that spot right there where I've really pressed really hard and ground that into the paper, most of that comes up. Another way you can do it is when I'm really wanting to shade things lightly, I hold my pencil way back off the end. So if I'm holding it way back here, it's really hard to push real hard. Right? And so if I'm holding it back here, or sometimes I'll do this. I'm just holding it kind of in between my fingers and just lightly moving pencil. And if I want to get darker and a little bit more controlled, I choke up on the pencil. It's a pretty good tip right there. Something that I learned along the way, picked up along the way. Another thing that I forgot to mention to you was that, the harder you grip your pencil, the tighter you grip it, the more you're going to press down into it. So one of the things I learned in school was your pencil grip should be so light that someone can come over and take the pencil out of your hand, and there really would be very little resistance on your part. That gets you to not press so hard to destroy the paper and really dent it. The next thing I'd like to talk about today is drawing movements, meaning how we move our body while we're drawing. Most of the time people will draw with their wrists. They do this little sketchy line to maybe draw a curve or a straight line, and it doesn't come out so great. Even if I try to draw a straight line with my wrist, by moving my wrist, it comes out as a curve because your wrist moves off of this point. Actually moves in a curve. It doesn't move in a straight line. If I want to draw a straight line, okay, I am going to use my shoulder more than my wrist. I want to kind of lock in, especially if it's a big, bold mark, right? Or a circle, or lips. All right, I'm drawing a cylinder maybe. Okay, you're gonna take and you're gonna lock in your wrist. You're not gonna move your wrist. You're actually gonna see how I'm doing this. My wrist is not moving at all. It's all coming from my shoulder. My shoulder is the source of the big movements, okay? If I wanna get detailed, yeah, after I get some of the stuff, I can start to kind of, even then, you know, when I'm shading, maybe I'll be a little bit more controlled and use some smaller movements. But when I'm kind of blocking things in, getting some of the basic stuff drawn, I'm just gonna use my shoulder. I'm locking in my wrist, and I'm moving my shoulder more than anything, okay? That a lot, because my shoulder is strong. My wrist is, and my elbows can all move and independently of each other, but the shoulder will do, we'll be able to move in all these cool kind of funky angles all over the place. The shoulder is much more controlled and easier to move.
Well, folks, that's it for today. I hope you learned something new and something you can go ahead and apply right away. Next time, we're going to be learning about values and how to make things look three-dimensional in our drawings. Have a great day.